This is part 64 of A Cry for Help. It was horrendous, okay? I was trying to explain in the description the illicit activities of Donna Hunt and Dr. Daly at Rutland Regional Medical Center and Rutland Regional Diabetes Center, and Rutland Regional Medical Center. However, I wrote it 4 times. Every time I wrote it, the cult obliterated it. So I need to say that before we go on with the insulin, which is related to the insulin. I want to tell you, the medical corruption committed at Rutland Regional Hospital by Donna Hunt is horrendous. It's horrendous. It was meant to kill me.
It's disgusting.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you quickly of some of the illicit activities they committed. And then the governmental agencies protected them, okay, in the state of Vermont, including Amy CARLSON, who took out an order against us because we exposed Donna Hunt and Dr. Daly and the pharmacist, and she did not want to expose them. Okay, and again, she committed outrageous criminal character assassination to us, and it was delivered by the infamous Rutland City Police. They come to our home in the state of Vermont like they are mailmen, delivering these outrageous orders. And then one police officer, Lawman, almost took off my 4 fingers by closing the door on my 4 fingers.
Amy CARLSON, just to make it a point, she
works for the Secretary of State, and she's supposed to handle all pharmaceutical, medical, and diabetes educators and nutritionalists in the state of Vermont. However, once she made me write volumes and volumes and volumes of papers.
And she kept wanting more papers and more
papers. Just to torture us. She said to us, I have a law enforcement license. Again, law enforcement.
What else is new?
And this is what I'm going to do, because she said she can't do Donna Hunt. And she can't do a lot of the pharmacists. It was outrageous.
Meanwhile,
I said, what are you talking about?
That is what they do.
That's what they do. So when we
were even sent...
Come on.
We've been sent by certain professionals.
Joe, everybody knows as the Secretary of State, you don't have to explain. Okay, this is all corruption.
I know.
I need to get to the point because I need my insulin.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
Okay. As soon as we expose the corruption she was committing, and we have a tape recording of this, she says, I need to tell you something, Susan and Joe. She rattles off like an auctioneer. I have a law enforcement license. From this point on, you are not to come to the Secretary of State. If you come to the Secretary of State, according to Vermont criminal statutes, you will be cited for trespassing. And she sent us. She sent it through the police. The Rutland City Police comes to our home with 3 horrific pages of criminal activities that we are committing. You believe this?
Anyway, criminal activities.
The person that I'm telling this to, which I'll have to tell later because I forgot.
Right.
Okay.
It's okay.
Will know about this as well. Okay. Anyway, get back to Donna Hunt and Dr. Daly. I just want to say in a nutshell, and I cannot say all. Okay. I was awarded the Dexcom. I needed the census. Okay. I got the census in New York, but now that I moved to the state of Vermont, I had different insurance. I needed Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt to write the right medical papers for the census to Medicare. To make a long story short, Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt never wrote the correct papers. No. Okay, I have the papers in my possession. We gave it to Medicare, and they said this is a hoax. You are to report Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt to the Inspector General. However, once we reach the Inspector General, as soon as we say the name's Tropeano, they say, cannot help you, hang up the phone. Because everybody's protecting Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt, including the cult that keeps on taking off when I write about Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt, because they took large sums of money from the cult and they don't want to be exposed. And there's a lot of people in the Rutland Medical Center that are guilty as well for protecting Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt. Yeah. One is CARTIER of the Rutland Regional Medical Center, the Grievance Department. One is Tom HUBNER, the president of Rutland Regional. And we have documents and everything to show. Okay, also what Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt did. Dr. Daly writes a prescription, and then she takes it back behind our backs. Okay? In other words, I have a prescription. But she wrote a different prescription by the time I went to the pharmacy. So then I have to go back to her, or Joe went back to her, and she screams and yells, no, I'm not going to do it. Okay?
That was all intentional.
Yes, all intentional.
All intentional.
She changed it. She even wrote prescriptions. We released her because of her illicit activities, and there's so much more to say, but I have it all documented.
Yeah, we just make a long story
but
short here.
What she did was, okay, she was writing. She called my New York pharmacist, Kim, at CVS Pharmacy.
At Great Neck Plaza.
This is a year later, changing my prescriptions with Kim. And then I go to pick up my prescription. I say, Kim, what are you giving me? This is not what I take. She said, well, Dr. Daly just called and said you have to take this. I said, but Dr. Daly hasn't been my doctor for a year. And then Kim gets all red in the face. Okay, to make a long story short, Kim left CVS. She ran out like a rat. Okay, could never find her to this present time. Maybe she works there now, I don't know. Was so inundated with so many violations. But at the time, she split and left the pharmacy. Okay? And that's what happens a lot. Now I want to get back, and Dr. Daly and Donna Hunt did so many illicit activities. It's unbelievable. Okay? They told me to eat on high numbers, and I listened to them like a stupid idiot, and I almost went into a coma. Then they gave me...
They lowered the medication.
They lowered the medications, and then they gave me this meter. Exactly. I never saw this meter in my life. They said you need a meter that downloads. So I had a meter that downloads. They said, no, that meter is not good. You have to use this meter. The reason why they gave me this clunky old meter that I never even saw, okay, and I have a small, thin meter, is because they wanted to record. They knew I was going to get deathly ill and maybe suffer a coma and die for what they told me to do. So they wanted this meter to prove that they did nothing wrong, okay, because this meter was not a good meter. Even when I used it once, it did not even record the right numbers, and I went immediately back to my old meter. Okay, it was totally whacked.
Yeah.
Okay? And they insisted, you must use this meter, because they didn't want to be incriminated if something happened to me. Okay, because they were planning for me to go into a coma. And when this whole story is exposed and the right people are listening, you will see it all. I have documents, volumes of documents I wrote to them daily about all their illicit activities they committed. And they're so very liable. Okay? Anyway, to get back to my insulins, okay, I'm going to try to make it short. In the beginning, Novo Nordisk and Lilly Company were helping me with the counterfeit insulins. They understood the situation we were in, and they were such nice people. All of a sudden they changed. Why did they change? Like always, the lethal cult makes bribes in the company. Once those bribes are made, forget it. Everyone acts lunatic. They humiliate and abuse you to the extreme.
That's the same
and you're talking to circus clowns, and you think, how could health professionals do this?
They're literally mocking you on the phone.
Yes, and we have all the tape recordings to
laughing.
prove it. They're laughing and cracking up in your face while you're receiving counterfeit insulins, and they will not replace any of them.
How they can do this to human
so,
beings.
yes, okay. So
me.
let me get... So anyway, to make a horrific story short, I wrote a letter to Mr. Stephenson. Okay, and Mr. Stephenson took very seriously.
He's the director of Novo
Okay,
Nordisk.
I gave him about 30 pages of documents, and he read everything, and he sent me a letter that he's doing an investigation. Mr. Stephenson is in Denmark.
Right.
He's the director of Novo Nordisk. Okay? So anyway, to make a long story short again, all right, right before I sent the letter to Mr. Stephenson, Novo Nordisk in Princeton, New Jersey, that's where, you know, they have their location in America, I gave them my insulin to be tested, and they got corrupted. Okay? And they were mocking and abusing me. So they sent me a letter, which I have evidence of, that we looked at your insulin. It looks clear. There's nothing wrong with your insulin.
We did a visual.
Yes, we did a visual investigation.
What is
so
that
I
all
immediately
about,
called them, and I said, what does a visual investigation do? You need to test the insulin. I said it could be vodka. It could be water. I mean, visual doesn't say anything. You need to test it.
Yeah, because insulin is clear to begin with.
So as soon as we said that, the mockery, the abuse, the character assassination, the lies, the everything. It was like talking to a circus, a torturous circus. And meanwhile, I don't have my right insulin to take. Okay? While this is going on, Lily all of a sudden changed also.
Lily
They
now
were the
is
exact,
explain
my
Lily.
short-acting insulin.
It's the other insulin.
Yeah. Novo Nordisk is my long-acting insulin, which is Levemir, and then I take sometimes short-acting insulin, which is Humalog, and that's from Lilly Drug Company. At the same time, Levemir is acting lunatic, and they're cracking up over the phone while I'm having counterfeit insulin. Lilly is doing the exact same thing, abusing and mocking.
They joined the bandwagon.
I mean, we have tape recordings to prove it all. It's like something from the Twilight Zone, a horror film. While this is taking place, okay, I wrote another letter to Mr. Stephenson, okay, and he took it very seriously. And I wrote actually 2 letters to Mr. Stephenson.
Well,
okay.
2 letters, they both got there? Or
yeah, the first letter got there with a return receipt.
Right, and then
the second letter never got there.
Never got
because it was really serious and nobody wanted Mr. Stephenson to know. So I tried to call Mr. Stephenson, but because our phones are hacked, it was useless. Okay, I couldn't call him. And so to make a long story short, I called the Princeton, New Jersey office to find out, you know, because more insulin was sent to them to be tested. They said they would finally test it after abusing and mocking us, but they lied to us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they lied, and they did further character assassination
because
they wanted as much of the insulin they could have so it would never be exposed. But I have many boxes of counterfeit insulin, okay? Because the FDA refuses to test it. I think I said that, right? The DEA,
yes.
We already said that, just bear in mind.
Yeah.
Every conceivable place would not test my insulin. To make a long story short, we get directed to speak to Jeremy Berger, the lawyer of Novo Nordisk in Princeton, New Jersey. It was horrendous what he did to us. He said, I tested your insulin, real arrogant, and everything is fine. So I said to him very nicely, I said, that's hard to believe because I don't get numbers skyrocketing like that. Can I please have a copy of the lab report where you tested my insulin? He says, absolutely not. I said, why not? I have this all on tape recording. He says, because I won't give it to you. I don't have to give it to you. So I told him, but it's my insulin and it's my body, and I want to see the lab results that you say is fine. I need to see that. I will not give it to you, and that is final. So, after that lunatic, alarming statement, he writes both a letter to Joe and me, filled with character assassination.
What else is new?
Okay, what else is new is right. Okay? And because of this huge conspiracy of giving me counterfeit insulins until I die, okay, nobody wants to test it, okay, because this conspiracy got so big, there's protection for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And so I should die for their outrageous, illicit Nazi activities.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? So anyway, to make a long story short, the second letter that I sent to Mr. Stephenson, return receipt, never got to Mr. Stephenson. Instead, it was rerouted by the police and the cult to Mr. Jeremy Berger. And how do we know that?
Okay,
because in Mr. Jeremy Berger's letter, he wrote something that I told Mr. Stephenson, and Mr. Stephenson only. And he repeated it.
How did Jeremy Berger know?
And he repeated it in his character assassination letter. And then I cited to him, you were not supposed to know that because that was a letter given to Mr. Stephenson only. And then the paralegal at the Novo Nordisk, I have this all on tape recording, said that you never spoke to Mr. Stephenson. He never said, no, I didn't speak to him. He never sent you a letter that your insulin is going to be investigated. I said, you're lying. I said, would you like to see my letter? As usual, no. You just don't have that letter. We said, we do have that letter. It's right in front of us. No, you do not. Mr. Stephenson never sent you that letter.
I mean,
the huge alarming cover-ups, the bribes, the scams.
The mind
just,
games.
The mind games just go on and on. And this is why I am left right now without insulin. And I need my insulin. And please, I need the citizens of the world and the person that's listening to this to immediately eradicate these people and put them behind bars where they belong. They're trying to kill me.
Exactly. So we'll see if we come back soon, or
yeah, because we have to deal with some things. We'll try to come back as soon as possible. Please help us.
Please help us.
We're begging for help.
Thank you very much. Please help.